King Kong, Pancho Villa, and Japan's World War II surrender are major historic events, and they have one thing in common. One man, Brigadier General Merian C. Cooper, played a role in each. Born in 1893 in Jacksonville, Florida, Cooper was given a book at age 6 that inspired him throughout his life. Explorations and Adventures in Equatorial Africa by French explorer Paul Duchaillu is credited with sparking Cooper's own sense of adventure. He began his career as a midshipman at the U.S. Naval Academy, but different accounts say he was either expelled or resigned in his senior year. At the Academy, he was an advocate for air power. After he left the Academy in 1916, he worked as a reporter for the Minneapolis Daily News. That's where he met Delos Lovelace, someone who became a long-standing friend of Cooper's and would later play a significant role in a cultural first. Later in 1916, Cooper joined the Georgia National Guard, where his unit was activated to join the chase of Mexican Revolutionary General Pancho Villa, under General John Pershing's command. He graduated at the top of his class from the Military Aeronautics School in Atlanta, and by 1918 was in the air service of the American Expeditionary Force, 1st Day Bombardment Group in World War I, France. In September of 1918, Cooper was shot down during a mission, and taken as a prisoner of war by German troops. He suffered burns and injuries to his hands. The Americans presumed he was dead, and General Pershing signed a death certificate with Cooper's name on it. Following the war, he remained in the service, providing relief supplies to Poland. Cooper helped establish a squadron of American volunteer pilots that supported Polish forces during the Polish-Soviet War. He was shot down twice during the war, escaping with his crewmate the first time. In July of 1920, his plane was shot down behind enemy lines, and he spent 9 months in a Soviet prisoner of war camp. He escaped just before the end of the war and earned Poland's highest military honor, the Virtuti Militari, for military virtue. After his Polish war efforts, there was a brief stint as a reporter at the New York Times. Cooper's taste for adventure was fed by a commission to write articles for Asia magazine as he visited exotic ports of call. He traveled with Ernest Schoedsack, a filmmaker he met in Vienna in 1918. Schoedsack started his film career in 1914 with silent film producer Max Sennett, and was a Signal Corps cameraman during World War I. Their travels together became a partnership that resulted in documentaries and eventually in 1933, the groundbreaking movie King Kong. The story of King Kong was the result of Cooper's imagination and real-life adventures. One account claims Cooper was inspired by a dream he had of a giant gorilla terrorizing New York City. King Kong also spawned one of the first novelizations of a movie. Cooper's friend from the Minneapolis Daily News, Delos Lovelace, was brought in to write the book based on the screenplay. Cooper co-directed the movie with Schoedsack. They both appear in the film flying the plane that finally takes Kong down. When World War II came along, Cooper re-enlisted at the rank of colonel and was a logistics liaison for the Doolittle Raid on Tokyo in April 1942. He also led a successful bombing raid on the Kowloon docks of Hong Kong in October of that same year. From 1943 to 45, Colonel Cooper was the Chief of Staff for the 5th Air Force's Bomber Command in the Southwest Pacific. He was present on the USS Missouri to witness the surrender of Japan at the end of the war and was promoted to Brigadier General. Following the war, Cooper went back to Hollywood, producing movies and working with director John Ford. Two of Cooper's notable films from that time were The Quiet Man with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara, which was nominated for Best Picture, and Mighty Joe Young, which won an Oscar for special effects. Cooper was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Oscar in 1952. He died April 21, 1973, and his ashes were scattered at sea with full military honors.